Alright, we're going to be watching Pipp, who's been playing Junker Queen on King's Row. This is Platinum 5 on PC. Felt like I was doing pretty okay this game. I could tell there was a few times where I just went in without my team or just exploded when I peeked the corner, but I thought I overall played well, even though we lost. Curious to hear what you guys think. Really want to improve and get back to Diamond and potentially even hit Master someday. Thanks for the help. Okay, so OP actually plays Orisa and Winston as well. Winston was pretty brief, so I'm not going to look at that at all. Orisa, you play only towards pretty much the very end, right on the third point push, and then I don't want to review that because I think that your Orisa gameplay looks dramatically worse than your Junker Queen gameplay, to the point where like I think that your Orisa is probably like a 10 to 20% lower win rate than your Junker Queen is. So there's not really a lot of point in me covering it, because unless you're trying to make her part of your main pool, I don't think you have the game sense to play Orisa well at this moment in time, which is why I want to focus on just the Junker Queen aspect of the gameplay. Right? I think that you're almost kind of like selling at the end by playing Orisa, because while Orisa is phenomenal against Rein, you don't play Orisa well against Rein, or you don't play Orisa well. So even if a hero is a good choice in general, if you don't have the skill and experience with them, it doesn't matter if the hero is a good choice because you're not going to play well. Anyway, let's focus on the Junker Queen gameplay. So for Junker Queen, what's interesting kind of stands out here is I think that generally you have good game sense. I think you generally make good decisions. I think that you are good at applying pressure pretty consistently, and you're generally good at surviving as well. I think your ultimates, by and large, are pretty good also, I would say. I think the biggest problem here is, and this is kind of the nature of also King's Row as well, because King's Row is a very linear map. Like, I would never play Junker Queen in King's Row because of this, because Junker Queen, you want short flanks on Junker Queen, okay? So if we just imagine just drawing that for a second. So for Junker Queen, you want there to be like little paths all over the place that you can take these like miniature flanks to go and, go after enemies or something like that. So imagine, good guys over here, right? And then bad guys over here. You want to have options here where you can go and do like quick little flanks and avoid the enemy tank, especially if the enemy tank is like a very brawly tank like Orisa or Reinhardt, where you can avoid the enemy tank and you can go after squishies. If you're purely forced to go into a north-south fight, you're generally going to have a very bad time as Junker Queen unless you're playing a rush lineup where you can guarantee to walk into them and just win the fight right away. So against heroes like Sigma, Reinhardt, Orisa, even Zarya, you could have an extremely bad time where you can't really get a lot of value because you're constantly forced to fight the opposing tank, which you're not great at. Junker Queen actually doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but her strengths are that she's relatively mobile for a ground-based tank, and she can pull people out of position. So you're looking for a situation where you can get onto the flank, right? And then, let's say, knife and pull a support or DPS out of position, and then you can execute the kill here. Trying to do it purely straight up, if they're running a brawl or anti-brawl lineup, is basically not going to work, especially at higher ranks. If they're running dive, it's possible, because the dive tank will go past you and go after your back line, and then you can just shout to save your team and then run over their team. But beyond that, like, you're generally going to be stopped by the Reinhardts and the Orisas of the world, and Sigmas even, if you can't rush into them, because they're just going to get way more value than you are, and you're going to constantly be shooting shields, and just, you'll pull the tank, but it's not going to do anything, and then you're going to be frustrated. And we're going to see sometimes where you get held up, it's because of this problem. Okay, so, looking at the actual gameplay. So, again, number one is, I would say, try to look for more opportunities to do short flanks. I think that Junker Queen is not great on King's Row, because King's Row is one of the most linear maps in the game. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's unplayable by any means. I think it's harder because it's hard to find those flanks, A. But B is that you want to land knives on squishies and pull them out of position. You basically never do that. I'm trying to think through, like, it's like, I don't know, 15 minutes of gameplay or something like that. I don't think I remember you hitting a single squishy with a knife and pulling them out of position. I don't even know how many knives you land on squishies, period. I don't even know if you landed like 3 in the whole game. Now, maybe my memory is like a little faulty here, but we're going to see. But that's like the biggest difference between you and a higher ranked Junker Queen, is that your knives are almost always against the opposing tank, but higher ranked Junker Queens are almost always landing knives against opposing squishies. So if you watch, for example, like my Junker Queen guide, you'll see me constantly pulling squishies out of position and like instantly killing them. And you just can't do that because you just don't try, right? It's not even like an accuracy issue. You're not even trying to hit them. I will note as a side note, accuracy is a problem for you as well. I think your accuracy is good enough for where you are right now. I think you can still. I think you're good enough that if you had to one trick Junker Queen, you could probably still climb to like, I don't know, plat 3 or so. But I think that you're going to be capped getting to diamond unless your aim gets better. All right, so we understand the Rein's over here. So you saw the hammer right now, and you can trade well with Reinhardt if you have axe. So right now, I would have even just pursued right there and started the axe swing, hit him with the axe, and then shot him. Right, shot, knife, right, melee, etc., and then backed out after that. You still shout here. So he goes over here. I turn. I immediately shout right now. So that's the difference between you and like a higher rank Junker Queen, is just recognizing, look, the Reinhardt's trying to go for my side, okay? You can see the Reinhardt coming over here. You can hear him through the wall coming to the left. As soon as you see this going to the right, you either A, pursue behind him, or B, mirror him by going to the right. Because why would the Reinhardt not want to fight you here? Think about it from the Reinhardt's perspective. He intentionally went over here, right? He doesn't have charge right now. And he's gonna know, hey, you're here, and you can see how he's dodging. You can hear. It's not like Reinhardt's a quiet hero, right? You can hear his loud metal footsteps. So he's choosing not to fight you. And one thing to think about at higher level play is, what is my opponent trying to accomplish? And try not to let them do that, because whatever they're trying to accomplish is probably a good thing for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be winning games, right? Whatever your opponent wants to do is probably something that will increase their chances of winning this fight. So I can prevent them from doing that. It's good for me, bad for them. You right now don't really have a clear plan. Like, you're just coming over here to poke out the Reinhardt. But in this situation, either you commit to just burning him down, A, or B, you mirror and prevent him from going after your backline. Because that's what it looks like right now. I can feel that right now. As this is coming up, like, that the Reinhardt is going to be pursuing. But, like, the funny thing is, like, I would have been, because you actually swing sideways versus playing close to the door, I would play close to the door right away, because I know that I can out-trade Reinhardt as long as I have axe and knife, so I wouldn't be fretting about it. But anyway, so over here, right now, I pop shout, right, give my Kiriko a chance, right, ultimately you get the shout off, but it doesn't have any chance for her to use the movement, only the overhealth boost, not enough to save her, and from here, you're pretty much screwed. Alright, I think it's good that you generally try to back up here. I would say you have to stop spamming jump. I think this is a very common low-ranked habit, is that people spam spacebar all the time. It does not work. It actually makes you easier to hit, not harder. I don't want to go into it because I have to talk about this almost every single video, but don't constantly spam jump. It actually makes things worse. At higher ranks, you're dead right now. Being stuck this far in the open without shout means that you should die, right? But very, very lucky to not get bursted down here. But I think it's good that you're playing back, right? You're thinking about trying to recontest. Can't quite get it. I would not have swung this far out. Reminder, Soldier, fully boosted with Railgun, does 195 damage. So with Mercy damage boost, it does about 250. So that's like the headshot damage that you have to be worried about here. So you need to respect that, right? The Soldier is fully boosted right now. If she hits the headshot, you'll get, like, absolutely crushed. So she's going to nail you here for, like, I think it's a body shot. Right, yeah. So she could have done another, 100-ish damage to you, and you'd be at 200, and then you'd potentially be in one-shot territory. All right. You dodge a fire strike. But generally, I think you're right idea, right? Trying to play this corner. I would probably not try to recontest at this point in time, because I think it's too late for that. Your Kiriko's still too far away. I don't think you have a realistic chance of trying to take this point. So I would just chill. I would not try to push this, because if you're going to lose the point, okay, fine. This is actually a very strong area to hold on defense. So I want to make sure that we have all 5 people holding this area to bleed as much time off the clock. I don't want to waste trying to contest here in a situation where I'm almost assuredly not going to be able to do anything. Soldier's going to die here. I think this is truly crazy what the Soldier does. She slides forwards here and is grossly out of position. I mean, like, yeah, you get the kill, but, like, you don't really deserve that. You're going to go on to try to contest. So you're trying to fight. Note here, 2, 1, why not start axe swing right now, right? Just right now, you have 2 targets right next to you, just axe swing, hit both. That'd be massive. Like, you can flip this fight right now. They're down 2. But you start it way too late, you only hit 1, and then you're gonna die. With better mechanics, I think this is, because of the Soldier and sliding forwards, which if she literally just doesn't do that, if she just slides to the point, you have no chance of taking this. Because the Soldier literally suicides her life away, it gives you a chance to win this fight, right? Reinhardt's low. Reinhardt also has way too little shield and should have already been behind the corner, but That gives you a chance to win this, but from here, it's all just mechanics. All right. There's actually, if you watch my Junker Queen guide, there's a good example of this where I talk about how important mechanics are, especially for Junker Queen, because of how aim intensive she is as a hero. So there's a situation, and like if she's very unforgiving. Right? Like, I think her and like Diva are good examples of really unforgiving heroes. Reinhardt and Winston also obviously super forgiving as tanks for aim. I would say Orisa would be in that category as well. And Zarya also often is pretty forgiving also. But with Junker Queen, you're very limited amount of ammo. You shoot very slowly. You don't do a ton of damage. You really need to make sure to land your shots. But if we watch right here, in this key moment, right? Okay, you got the melee here, fine. So this shot is wildly off. I would note if you did not jump, you would have been on target. Your own jumping is throwing off your aim, right? So there, we missed another second full shot. So that's 160 damage, assuming no headshot, that you've just given up. Right, now we're looking for a shot. Now we barely hit her. I think you get half-ish damage on her, right? You miss the knife. Again, you're jumping unnecessarily. And then what? And you don't even fire a shot there, right? Now you get the axe swing. You're super low. That shot's not even close. Like, look, this shot's not even close to where the Ana is. This is like 1, 2 full Anas away from being on target, right? Plus vertically, it's off target as well. Like, this can't happen at higher ranks. Supports will literally, if supports realize that you can't actually aim at higher ranks, they will literally just stay with you and outduel you. Like 1v1, like 1v2 situations, they'll just kill you. Right? Like, they will show no fear and just murder you if you can't aim. Because they feel right away that you can't aim, and they will absolutely exploit that, kill you, and then move on with the fight. So, very, very important to improve your aim. Especially if you're going to play Junker Queen. Alright, going forwards. So, this is a good example where, like, I can't get a ton of value right now, but, like, my team is regrouping, which is okay, right? We're all kind of coming up right now. But, like, pretty soon I need to do something, but me shooting the shield is not doing a whole lot. Missing that knife is bad, right? So I don't think there's a reason to miss this knife. You can't be missing tanks with knives. Like, that can't happen. You just, like, if you want to get the diamond, you cannot miss tanks with knives. Tanks are like way too large, right? Way too large, way too close for you to miss that. But then right here, why do we pop shout? We're missing half of our health. Our team is rolling up right now. We have no clear advantage. It's not like, oh, they're low or like they've used important cooldowns. What are you gonna do with the shout? Right? You walk up there, you're very lucky to not get pinned, because if you get pinned, there's a good chance you die. Right? And you go over here. What do we accomplish with that shout? Nothing. They weren't applying pressure to us, and we weren't able to apply pressure to them. That is a wasted shout. Wasted shouts are almost always fight losers at higher ranks. Every single shout must get you substantial amounts of value, because Junker Queen is based around how critical her shout is. It's her most important ability by far. You can't do anything if you don't have shout. Because right now, I know, like, look, you have no options here to, like, stay alive. If they apply pressure to you, you also have no option to exploit opportunities right now either. So it's a two-way problem. So you're trying to work the Rein down. Okay, he charges, that's fine. So you have ulti coming, right? You pull a Rein. So I don't know that you need to ulti right now, but you're going to get good value out of it. And so I want to talk. This is a really common problem for I think, like, metal rank tanks, is you need to think about where your team is, okay? Effectively, this is what the landscape looks like, and you have all your team members over here, right? And you're over here. And you have all these enemies over here. The problem is, what's going to happen is you are going to end up over here, all right? But you'll notice that your team can't follow up at all because of the nature of the terrain. They have no LOS to be able to see any of the enemies, which means you need to kill everybody here by yourself. It actually is going to work out in this situation, but I'm just noting, it's like, they didn't force this ulti out of you. It's not like, oh, like, we're about to lose or something, etc. Like, you could have just waited for your team to get potentially a little closer, or for them to turn the corner this way, where your team could help you get the kill. This is the reason why I'm noting it is because, again, this works out, right? To be clear, I think you end up winning this fight. I'm noting this because in the future, sometimes you'll rampage, you'll hit 4 or 5 people, and nobody will die. And you'll think, wait, what went wrong here? Like, did I do something wrong? Like, how could I hit like 4 or 5 people and have us not get any kills? Think about whether or not your team can actually help you get the kills. It is very, very common that people will ult at times, which are good for the ult in general, but bad to actually have the team follow up, and they don't have the mechanics, or the enemy is too much sustain to be able to survive, to be able to actually get kills from the enemy. We get Tulu here, great. All right, you should kill Zana. All right, great. Okay, get a knife there, excellent. Okay, so we want to play up here. We want to play gate. Gate very, very strong. So this is an example where don't stand on the cart. There's literally no reason to be on the cart. It doesn't make the cart move backwards any slower if you think that's going to happen. You should be playing all the way up here and holding this gate because the gate is strong. Like, Yara in your team is the only person here who's doing this correctly. The rest of you are just messing around. I mean, the junk has tire going. But like, there's no reason for any of you to be back here. You should be playing up at the gate. That way you can start applying pressure right away to the team. Because if I'm here, great, I start shooting the Rein, I go up, trade an axe swing with him, whatever it is. Like, this Rein would be dead already if he played the exact same way, which he wouldn't if I was playing up at the gate. Which means now you're a little slow here. You shout, you pull him. This is an incredible pull here. I don't know that this is entirely intentional, but we'll give it to you. So you pull him, so he's not going to get the shatter off. And I'm thinking, okay, he's still going to land the shatter when he comes down to the ground. I just need to stay on the side and behind him, and I should be good to go. The problem is, you walk in front of him here, get nailed by the shatter, right? And then you're going to die for this. So this is just an example of like a basic mistake. There's no reason for this to happen, right? You made all the hardest parts of this play were done. Just back up against the wall here, and you're good. You walk in front of him, and then you're going to die for this. And even though their tank ends up dying, that's still enough for the team to push forward. Fortunately, I think you already get kills 2 there, but still not enough. So soldier dies. So this is a great example where like I'm landing a knife right now. The second I see Diana do this, I throw a knife right here. Because she only has 2 options. Option 1, she further walks away from the corner, in which case I'm going to kill her anyway. I and my team are going to kill her. Option 2, she tries to escape right away, in which case my knife grabs her and I pull out her position and kill her. Again, if you haven't seen it, or don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch my Junker Queen guide, and you can see every single game how often I pull squishies out of position and kill them. It is an enormous part of her kit, and you get almost 0 value here from this like pulling aspect, right? It's like if Roadhog was constantly just hooking enemy tanks instead of squishies, that's basically what you're doing right now, right? That nice, super off target, right? Ana ends up dying because she's out of position, but you shout and you survive. I think this is a good idea to back up here. Don't shoot, don't shoot. Okay, so you can see Genji's deflecting right now. And it's hard, right? There's a lot of stuff going on in Overwatch. He's deflecting. You need to stop shooting right now because those shots, he's deflecting them back into you, which is why you're getting shredded right now. You should be dead. The soldier should kill you right now. Oh, she's low. Yeah, she could have fired one more shot, but I don't think it would have killed you anyway. It's lucky that nobody else is aiming at you. All right, you lose your Junkrat here. Rein goes up. Soldier's up top. Not a lot you can do in this situation. Right? You have plenty of time. That's the thing. It's like, you know, you have plenty of time. The time it takes to get from here to here is like 10 seconds. Don't force anything right now and give your team more time to stabilize, potentially get a pick, maybe for a Junkrat to come back, and then contest the last moment. Do not contest early. Right? You just want to slow down because if you walk forward right now, you're just going to die. Right? That's not going to do anything. All right, so you walk forward right now. So, does it feel like we're going to win this? We actually are going to win this, right? So I think that I still would have waited a lot longer. I think trying to push right now is a mistake because you could have gotten blown up right now on the way in. But I will note at this moment in time, Reinhardt's going to go for you. You don't want to aim for the Rein. Okay, just use this opportunity to go after the Genji, go after Lucio, right? And just keep kiting the Rein because the Rein gets no value unless he's hitting somebody, like at melee range. But you don't need to be in melee range to do stuff. So if you're kiting the Rein around, you've effectively stun-locked the Rein where he's not doing anything while you're still gaining value. So you don't want to fight the Rein right here. All right here, you're going after the Rein, but the Rein's already got a shield. It's hard to do enough damage to get the kill. Go after the squishies right here. You can see how low the soldier is. She's right next to you. One shot here kills the soldier, right? The soldier here, the Lucio's here, right? Those are the targets you should be going after, not the Reinhardt. But you end up getting the fight win. Okay, great. You should push up here, right? It's not like they have a Sombra or a Tracer or somebody else who can be able to get to the point. Right, to get to the cart. You want to push them all the way to the gate because I want to force all the fights all over again. I want to force one fight here. We lose, great. We respawn, we'll come back, and we'll fight another one here. force the enemy team to win as many fights as possible in order to win the game, right? That's the general idea for defense. I would have started Axe Swing right now, because like you get a free one here against the Reaper. This is, by the way, a great example of when you feel that the enemy cannot aim. So this Reaper teleported right next to you. How much damage are you taking for this Reaper? Right? 5, 30, 10, 0. As soon as I realized this, I just kill the Reaper. This Reaper cannot aim. Right? Right? That shot's wildly off. That shot's wildly off. That shot's mostly off. That shot's like wildly off. That shot's wildly off. Right? And finally he lands a shot. Like, I would literally just have killed the Reaper by now because of just better aim. Right? Aim is really important if you want to climb further up, but I would feel that this Reaper cannot aim, and then I would switch from I need to retreat from this Reaper to I will kill this Reaper, because he now has, what, like 3 shots left? 1 shot at this point in time, but like earlier, before he was landing shots, he only had 3 shots left, right? Because you can count them right now, right? So right there, that's 1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And right now is where I'm like, look, you only have 3 shots left. I commit and try to get the kill right now, right? I shoot, right? Shoot, right? I'm trying to force Wraith, and after Wraith, I pop Shout, and I follow him, and I axe and kill him, all right? If he retreats back to his team, then I walk away. But right now, I have massive advantage here, and I can also beat him to the Mega here if I Shout. But you're acting way too scared here against somebody who is not doing any meaningful amounts of damage. You're only missing 50 health right now. Like, that's the crazy thing. You need to feel when the enemy team cannot land shots. Right? Alright, you missed that. It feels good. It was on target, though. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't get the kill there. But we're going to push up a little bit. I would say that you don't know where the Reinhardt is, so I would be worried about the Reinhardt. Oh, you can hear the Reinhardt right now. You can hear the middle steps, so I'm going to be careful right now. So Tyre's going. I would have looked up here and just shouted. Yeah, I would shout here, just save your Junkrat. Like, you can just jump. As long as you have LOS here, you would shout would make sure to give your Junkrat health so you can get killed by the Reaper. But Reaper dies here, fine. So I'm worried about Shatter here because he's on the flank. So, but it's not. I mean, obviously we know in replay that he doesn't actually have Shatter, but I'd be worried about Shatter because Reinhardt's generally get Shatter every other fight. So I'd look to get us in a situation where the Reinhardt cannot Shatter me and my team, because I have no ability to stop Shatter. That's very important to understand Junker Queen against Reinhardt. You cannot stop Shatter, right? There's nothing that you do that can prevent the Reinhardt from shattering you on command whenever he wants. But what you can avoid is having him shatter you and your team. So always look for situations where you can play apart from your team. So for example, if your team is standing over here, right, then you can choose to stand over here or over here. That way, if he shatters, he has to either shatter like this or he has to shatter like this, which will avoid him from being able to shatter you and your team. It will be you or your team. That's the general idea here, right? Really, really important to understand if you're playing against Reinhardt on a regular basis. So I don't know why you would not start Axe right now. Just Axe right now. Like, the Axe goes through the shield. It's free damage, right? Why don't you Axe at this moment in time? Like, it's very confusing to me why you don't Axe at any point in time here. You're finally at the very end when he's going to die anyway. Just get the extra damage in, right? It's got a short cooldown as long as you hit a target. So I'm in pursuit mode right now, right? Oh, yeah, you did hit a squishy there. That's good. So very important to be able to execute this combo. Pull. He comes up. You fire the shot right now and you melee. But no shot and no melee. This Junkrat lives. Like, this is a massive misplay. Right? And that's the difference between you and Diamond, even, is it's really easy to get a kill there. Like, that's like a very straightforward, like, bread and butter kill for Junker Queen. There's no reason for that to not be a kill. I would note, with the Junkrat dead, I swing this corner and play up. Because I pretty much have my whole team here. The Reinhardt's not available yet. He doesn't have charge. I'm swinging here, and I'm poking everybody down in this situation to wear them down and try to flush them out of library. Because you actually outrange all the heroes here in terms of effective damage. The Reaper can't do damage at this range, Lucio can't, Moira can't, so you can just swing here and shoot them all constantly, which is going to force them either deeper into the library, which potentially traps them, or out into the open, at which point somebody can get a kill. Right? It's also easy knives there, right? But you kind of hesitate here. Again, remember, you are actually up 1 in this situation, right? You have all 5 team members here, but their Junkrat is still dead, as a reminder. So you can push up here and just win the fight by killing the squishies at this moment in time. You need to see that opening, right? Knife misses everybody. I don't back up here. I play up. Again, the gate is a very strong place to play. Like, just play up. I feel like you're looking for the Reaper. It's not your job, right? Just, it is what it is. Like, if the Reaper is going to be on the flank, like, let your team deal with him. All right, Reaper dead. Yep, we're going to push up here. Push, 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 push. That knife's not going to do anything, right? Shield's up already. That's a waste of a knife. Push right now. Like, if you see, look, the Reinhardt's going to rotate to the left. What's my plan? Either A, I can go up to the back line, or B, I can try to mirror him. But, like, that's a really far away flank. It is what it is, and your team can hear it coming. I just push up and try to go after the back line right now. I think you're waiting way too long. I think that you're all going to get shattered together if you stay here. So I want more. If they're all clumped up like that, I really want more than this, ideally. So, yeah, I think that you got a little closer. You could have gotten a multi-hit there, A. B is you can feel the shatter is coming, right? Like the Rein is in position. He's close. He's clearly looking for that flank play. You also have ulti right now. I think if you want ulti, this is a perfectly fine time to pop ulti, assuming you don't get shattered, which is always a possibility. But one thing to think about here is I want to save shout for after my after my rampage. That way I can use shout to pursue and kill or to escape if the rampage doesn't work, right? Which is going to be relevant here. So you see how you're going to go in. You're gonna rampage everybody, but the problem is beat is dropped, which is a great counter, and now you're stuck in the back line with no mobility. But if you had shout right now, you could use shout and just leave, and you'd be totally fine, right? You already did your job by forcing a defensive ulti, but at this point, without shout, like you're in a grave danger. Luckily, you managed to get away. I think that the Reaper's pursuing right here, right? Reaper pops ulti, right? Now you get shattered, and now you're gonna die. So, how do we run this differently, right? I think, again, I don't think you pop shout first. You're not in particular danger of dying, so you're definitely gonna get the rampage off. Okay. At this point, look, just try to get back to your team, right? If you can have shout, you can use shout, run through here, get the mega, right? Rotate back this way. Or you can run with the Reinhardt if you want to, but like you got some options here, but you really need shout at this moment in time, right? So you go here, right? Reaper pops, you look for the Reaper, but I do not, you see how you backpedal this way? I move this way, even if it means I'm going to walk into Reaper ulti. Because either the Reaper's going to die here, and we have a chance to win the fight, or the Reaper's not going to die, and we're going to lose this fight no matter what. So my perspective is I don't want to stay in the lane. I need to get up here and go around the corner to the right over here, and while I'm shooting the Reaper, that way I can stay safe from anything else. Because I know my team is going to be too busy dealing with the Reaper to help me. So I cannot be this exposed. But you're going to get shattered, right? And you're going to burn down and you get killed. Alright, so pushing forward, another missed knife. This charge is fine. Even if he pins you against the wall, there's no way you die here with shout. Right? I would keep pursuing. So like just knowing this Reinhardt is messed up. Like, if the Reinhardt is exclusively shielding and jumping backwards, the Reinhardt is messed up. You know what I mean? Like that has to be the read here, is you're looking at this and be like, this Reinhardt doesn't know what he's doing. And I pursue here in combination with the axe, right? And shout, I get behind the shield, I force him to flip the shield, so it's dealing with either me or my team, and then we get the kill, and the fight is won. But you see how you back up right now, I think partially because Lucio's gonna boop you, but shout, right? Shout, run through, kill, get the Rein, yeah, get the Rein, kill the Rein. Ugh. Okay. So, you're pushing up here. You don't have to worry about Shatter, because he just shattered last fight, so Shatter is not a problem here. They don't really have anything else that can deal with you at this moment in time. It's just Coalescence. I think that if you're going to do this, I would play only this corner and not give up any more space. But once Kitsune is popped, I'm running forwards right now. I'm booking it forwards. I have to get something done with this Kitsune, or we're going to lose the next fight. Right? Go forwards. Yeah, Rein's going to die. Great. Alright, so this is fine. Right, poking people down. Alright, yeah, I mean, this is a poorly timed tire. Alright, so they're walking forwards. So I'd be thinking, look, is the Reinhardt have Shadow in this fight? I would say almost assuredly not at the beginning of the fight, but possibly by the end of the fight, because of the fact that Reinhardt died last fight while doing nothing. So I'm thinking Shatter not now, but Shatter later is a possibility, but I can play without there being a Shatter for now. This is another knife which like gets you no value. You have to stop throwing knives at shields. Right? I would also get an axe swing in here if you want to. Right? You still have shout as well. So, what's the read here? What's my goal? Well, I gotta stand. Like my team is gonna be in the open right now. I need to apply pressure, and I need to slow them down to some extent. So I'm playing the front side of the cart and using that as my quote-unquote corner, right? Applying axe swings to the Rein, right? Rein's obviously taking a ton of damage. You have your Junkrat constantly spamming, you have your soldiers shooting. I want the Rein to have to lower his shield or play super conservatively. This is not a lineup where the Reinhardt can just swing away at me for free, because the Rein's effectively playing with a rush/dive lineup, so his team loses the poke war. So I can be aggressive here and not expect to get like out-brawled in that sense because of how much damage my team is putting onto his team. So as long as I have cover from the Reaper, I'm pretty much not going to lose this fight in terms of sustain. So my instinct here is I'm not taking a lot of damage. I step forwards, play at the cart, and reserve shout if I need it to escape. But you're going to pop shout here, right? So the Genji, fortunately, right, fortunately for him, bad for you, is able to dash up, and he's going to get this blade off right as shout is ending, which makes it a lot more likely the blade is going to be effective. If you could have saved the shout for the blade, you would have been in better shape instead of having your own shout get forced out for no reason. Like, there's no reason right now to pop shout. You're not actually in danger, but you decide to shout anyway. You also saw that Reaper teleporting forwards, right? This is fine, right? Axe right away. Throw a knife. So sustain is everything right now. So shot, axe, right? Knife. I think knife axe actually would be a faster, better combination. But axe here, knife here, right? Right, and then try to get out of range. But missing the knife there is a problem. Like constantly jumping is throwing off your own aim. Like you see, there's no reason for this to be happening. It's like actually killing you. All right, so you're gonna come out of spawn here. I don't know that you have a lot of options. Okay, what is notable right now? Cart's got plenty of time. This cart is like 20 seconds away from capping. Slow down, okay? We have massive spawn advantage here. All I need to do is slow down. Don't run over here and try to contest the cart. That's not your job. Your job is to clear anyone who's at the spawn doors, right? So just relax, right? Play slow. You lost two, unfortunate. Slow down, because they're going to respawn in 10 seconds, and then you have plenty of time, because the cart will be here, you'll have plenty of time to push out with the other two. Do not push out right now. And you see them go out here, and the Reinhardt's going to pin you, and then you're going to take a ton of damage, right? But you also should have axed right away. A good instinct is when people get melee range is to axe unless they have the ability to dodge it, which Reinhardt obviously does not, right? That sustain from axe is actually massive. It gives you, what, like 130 health or something? It's like a lot of sustain. You really needed to axe right away after you got pinned. Like right away right now, land knife, land axe, okay? Then, pop shout, etc. to stay alive, but dying right now is, I would say, a major error here. Right? And of course, now you're dead. The two that the Reinhardt originally killed have just respawned, but now you're not alive. So now it's really hard for them to be able to contest, right? They popped beat and they're gonna win. Do you play Junker Queen on offense? I don't think so. Yeah, you go to Winston. Okay, so we can hold there. So, in summary, right, I'd say number one, very important to make sure that you are pulling squishies, okay? Constantly be trying to fish out squishies with your knife. You're not getting nearly enough value from your knife against squishies. Against a tank, it's like fine, but against squishies, not enough value, number one. Number two, I would say your aim is a limiting ceiling factor, right, of where you are. I think you're probably getting pretty close to that limit right now, and you're going to need to improve your aim. I think that in both the shotgun aim and also your knife aim. I think number three, better shout axe usage. I think you're still giving up a lot of value in that respect. I think your rampages in general are fine for your level. I think you probably could even keep doing these same rampages into diamond. I would still think about, again, saving shout for post rampage to try to either pursue or to escape, depending on how the rampage goes. All right, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this is helpful.